The press always laughs at individuals that it considers to be far right, but it never laughs at the stupidity and the idiocy that comes from the left. I mean, you need to believe that the entire environmentalist industry, so we're talking about marketing companies that belong to corporations that make electric vehicles. We're talking about politicians, activists, academics, the media. I have nightmares that when I open my refrigerator, there's Greta Thunberg inside asking me, how dare I? Like, the message is so powerful that I don't think it can be amplified more. Even the king, the fucking king in the UK, is pro-environment, right? So, like, you have this massive push that is nagging the entire population about global warming and all of this. But there is this one man. This is like one guy, like one man stands against the tidal wave. One man manages to puppeteer the masses and convince them not to buy electric vehicles. And that man is Mr. Bean. Imagine what type of person can think this, unironically. I mean, I know that when you're having a conversation and things are moving along, you may not stop to think for a little bit, but this is legitimately what these activists are saying. That they believe that all of this billion-dollar marketing campaign is nothing compared to the power that Mr. Bean has. So it's not that the electric vehicles are expensive. It's not that the electric vehicles are inconvenient. Charging them up is not very convenient, by the way. It's not the same like putting gas. You go to the gas station, you go blub, 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 and that's it. It's filled. With electric vehicles, it takes a lot longer, right? It's not the fact that, I don't know, maybe they're not as powerful as muscle cars. It's not the fact that you have like proeminent leftists like Hassan Piker that also buys muscle cars. Right? No, it's not about that. No, it's Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean opened this mouth. Like free speech is the problem because this is the core of the issue, right? This is what the left genuinely thinks that society should be run like. They believe that every single adult human being is an imbecile, right? Like people, they're clueless. They don't know any better. The only people that know any better are the people in the government. Like that is something that you take the imbecile and you give him a government job and all of a sudden he just becomes enlightened. All of a sudden he becomes the expert. He's all knowledgeable. The mysteries of the universe are open to him just because he got a position working for the government. And the government is the only one that can give wisdom onto masses. So the message comes from the government, through the academia, through the journalists. And that is the only correct message. And the thing that stands against the message is free speech. It's because people talk to each other and sometimes they disagree with the government, and that is horrible, that is wrong, that is far right, that is fascistic, we need to crack down on it. I mean, this is exactly what they're saying, right? So Mr. Bean is blamed for slow electric car sales, and he was name-checked in the House of Lords during its Environment and Climate Change Committee meeting. He's been blamed for damaging the reputation of electric car vehicles. So, apparently, the think tank Green Alliance gave its views on the main obstacle that the government faces in its bid to phase out petrol and diesel cars, and this is Mr. Bean. The pressure group told its peers in a letter that one of the most damaging articles was a comment piece written by Rowan Atkinson in The Guardian, which has been roundly debunked. Unfortunately, fact checks never reached the same breadth of audience as the original false claim. Yeah, but let me ask you a question. How can you prove that people genuinely read The Guardian and changed their mind? So you're telling me that there was an individual out there that was just about to buy an electric car, right? Like he had the money in the bank. He was just about to buy an electric car, but then he read the fucking article in The Guardian. And that article, that misinformation was stronger than any fact checker, was stronger than the think tank, was stronger than Greta Thunberg, was stronger than anything. Because goddammit, that Mr. Bean, he's like the snake calf from Mowgli. He hypnotized people. hypnotize people in The Guardian, right? No, seriously, this is what the left believes. Like, they believe that people exist in a vacuum and it's just the human being and the Mr.Bean article. There is nothing else, right? Like, there is nothing else. And the moment misinformation has been pushed, that's it. You can't do anything about it, you know? And it's interesting how misinformation is only important when it's about politics, right? When it's about how you vote, when it's about which party you support, then they care about fact-checking and misinformation. But when it's about, like, sending your kid to, I don't know, gender studies, because you think that they're going to have a well-functioning career in today's economy, there is no fact-checking there, right? When you go on and you make a loan so that you buy a house thinking that there's not going to be inflation or the government isn't going to shut down your business, there's no fact-checking there, right? So people are expected to make life-altering decisions in their personal life without the help of fact-checkers, but when it's about how they vote or when it's about behaving in a way that the government demands them to behave, then an army of fact-checkers come in. Right, sure. And by the way, you know, like, you're telling me that people still don't buy electric cars despite the fact that the government is planning to tax petrol cars more, despite the fact that in Britain they have, like, this plan for 15-minute city nonsense, right? So despite all that, people still don't buy electric vehicles. I'm just thinking, like, maybe it's not Mr.Bean. Did that occur to you? Like, maybe it's not the fact that people are being misinformed or anything. Maybe it's just that they don't like electric vehicles. Maybe there is something about the electric vehicle that's not as good as a Ford car, you know? And not to mention, they have think tanks for, you know, zero emissions and whatnot. Do farmers get think tanks? I mean, do farmers get to complain that they can't afford, or that electric vehicle tractors, you know, aren't as affordable or as good as the petrol ones? What about truck drivers, the guys that drive lorries around, huh? How are they going to achieve zero emissions with them? What about trucks? Huh? Do we need trucks in order to move stuff around? Do we need trucks in order to bring food to the supermarket? Are they important? Are they electric? Do you know what's interesting? They keep blaming Mr.Bean. Why don't they blame the politicians that go to COP20 or other environmentalist meetings with their private jets, their private yachts, I mean, when Joe Biden went to COP20, didn't he bring his entire security detail and all of them were driving around in 4x4 petrol cars? You know, maybe they are a little bit to blame, because I, as a citizen, am looking at my politicians who are very concerned about the environment, and they definitely do the talk, but when it comes about doing the walk, they bring their 4x4s. So, you know, if you look at what people do rather than what people say, it doesn't seem that the environment seems like such a pressing issue for them. And maybe that is why electric cars aren't selling the same way you would want them to sell. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.